Telecom Italia is the leading ICT company in Italy. Has also some focused operations abroad with a group turnover of just over 30 billion a year and an EBITDA just over 38% at group level. And with the level of investment per year, which is around 5.4 billion a year. Operations are concentrated in Italy for fixed mobile broadband and as well as broadcasting. By the way, we have a broadcasting company and Brazil, Argentina, and some other smaller presence in other countries like Cuba and so on. We have also some fixed broadband operations in Europe, in Germany, the Netherlands. I just want to sort of frame my discussion in what we are what's happening in the telecoms world. It's becoming the world is becoming connected, which means everything and everybody always online in a way or another. Broadband is a dominant trend in all that is happening around the world, and to some extent, I consider mobile satellite as an additional flavor of broadband, which we don't have today, and we need. We are, I mean, from a telecom operator standpoint, at least this is the Telecom Italia view. What we see in the future is that, of course, we will not move forward alone anymore. We see that there has to be an ecosystem approach. What we used to sell in terms of products and services in the past will not be there. In some cases, is not there anymore. And so our role has changed in a number of businesses, starting from the traditional one. I take the basic one, which is voice. Voice is a product that has been the same basically for 50, 80 years. I don't know so many products that have been the same in the market and keeping the value for 50, 80 years. I don't think that voice can keep the same value for 100 years. Nobody thinks. So, but if you look back 10 years ago, the amount of business that was based on voice and the amount of business that is based on voice today, there is a huge difference. Some market estimates, some research companies actually today evaluate customer operators to giving them a higher valuation the less their business is based on voice. So there are some KPIs from research companies, don't ask me whether they're right or wrong, that give a boost to the valuation of companies depending on how less voice business they do. So obviously, these are all things that are changing a lot our business. Our business is changing in a big way. So now, coming closer to what we have seen today, lots of interesting things. First of all, let me say that I have a radio engineering background, although I work now in our business innovation group, and we are finally seeing the mythical UMTS satellite component becoming alive after so many years since when this component was envisaged in the first band allocations. That was a lot of years ago. And I think that first there is a learning that I can share with you on when we launched UMTS. which is a story which is shared in most of Europe. We bought the license we had a competition. We bought the license in 1999. We won one of the licenses that were auctioned in Italy. We were not able, with all our effort, to start a meaningful commercial service before 2005. A service that you could call something real, not something prototype, some beta. And this is not because we didn't want to use the bandwidth or because we were confident with GSM and so on. Actually, there has been a discussion whether, not using 5-6 years of bandwidth, you should do some sort of write-off of it partially because you're not using it. There are a lot of industrial reasons why this did not happen. But the basic reason, I don't want to go into this is a separate issue, but the basic reason is that there were no conditions to generate a critical mass, no matter how much effort we put in it. This was true to some extent on the infrastructure, although the infrastructure was pretty much advanced. But most of the problems were on the devices. And of course, this was a problem for us, but you can imagine what size of problem this was for companies who only had UMTS licenses. We were operating other analog and digital services on tax and on tax service and GSM. So, first thing that I think it is important to think about what this mobile satellite service is going to change in the game is that we have a service that is inherently a European platform. For people in the satellite business, this is normal. You don't think about it; it's given. For people in mobile business, this means a lot. It really means a lot. I think that this is one of the first elements that will facilitate market adoption. It's a key element. As you know, other broadcasting services were attempted and are attempted today, including DVB-H. Some countries are more advanced than others, but you can do a lot of speculation about why and what, but at the end of the day, I think that no critical mass means something in the market, and this is one of the things that it's probably affecting a country-by-country approach in broadcasting. So the second point I want to make, I'm not totally in line with the previous speakers. I think I have some different points of view. First of all, don't count on white spaces, please. I've heard the previous presenter thinking about, explaining about how satellite can fill the terrestrial coverage gaps. I'm afraid you should not count on those white spaces existing at all. This is true today for developed countries, and it will be more and more true in the future. Coverage of edge in Italy, which we consider the lowest data flavor that we have in our market, it is 99.8% of the population. Coverage of UMTS is a little bit less than that, but not so much. Coverage of HSPA is a little bit less than the coverage of UMTS, but not so much. And in the future, we're looking at deploying LTE. LTE will bring broadband to a next level. 100 megabits downlink, 50 megabits uplink. Today, what we have on the market in Italy, what Telecom Italia through its TIM brand operates, is 7.2 downlink, 5.6 uplink commercial. We have announced that we move to 14.4 downlink commercial, and then we are also studying going to 28.8 downlink. So if you put this in a timeline, then the 100 megabits target, theoretical of course, as all the other numbers, depending on the number of conditions, are just points in line with some discontinuity around 2010, 2011. So in this context, I don't think that the white spaces would be such a strong justification.